Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Building with BdoubleO. This is going to be kind of a special edition. This is a promise that I've made for quite some time, and I put a lot of work into this today to get it ready for you and ready to roll. How does that look? That looks pretty good. That looks good, especially at this level, but from a distance, it looks a little bit funny. I'm noticing something with like things at a distance. Look at these windows, right? These windows are cool. They look good. It's just the clear, regular glass panes. But as we go away, watch what happens to them. They're going to turn white. I don't know if that's always happened. I know that used to be a problem with Optifine, but we're not running Optifine. And the reason was there were like some little extra pixels in there, the very low opacity pixels that were kind of showing through. I don't know why that's doing that here. I know it's perfectly clear. Very weird, but I've made some changes and I've done some updates that I hope you guys will enjoy, but I've also seen some things that I want to continue changing and get worked on and worked out before I put this up for you guys. So today the download's going to be in the description, but here's what I've done. I got these andesite bricks weren't in the game, so I got these in, and I even included I don't know if I usually include the cracked brick in the brick textures that I add, but I also did the mossy stone brick, which there's just a little bit of green in there, but I like that. I think that looks really nice, and I think if we switch over. Let's just switch back over to just a default resource pack and see. I think there are, yeah, that's a little bit of a green shade right there. So there's a little bit of green in this stuff. So the fact that we have that there, I'm not terribly concerned. I actually like it. I kind of added that on purpose to see if it would look good, and I think it looks fantastic. This we've had in the game for quite some time, but now I've added the granite. And as of right now, that's the color it's going to be. That's very, very similar to the granite texture color of vanilla. That's subject to change. That might change at some point. I've even included some flecks of like the lighter grayish color. It still has the hue of the red, but some of that's in there still just to keep it looking interesting. I think it looks pretty good. And over here, I did the same thing. And I just totally desaturated the cobblestone, or the grass stone. And so that looks kind of just like an extra nasty brick that's been cracked pretty bad. And I think that actually looks pretty good. I kind of like it. And I think on a massive scale, it'll look really, really nice. It may stay, may leave, I'm not sure. But for right now, I think it's really cool. Nice little added detail. So this color might change. Depending on the builds that we do, it might change in the future. We'll see. We'll just play it by ear. The cactus, for quite some time, here's what it looked like before. Not the vanilla, but what it looked like in the resource pack before. It looked like this. And you might not notice a difference, but the black on this is pretty desaturated, or not desaturated, it's lower contrast. It's not like a very good black. So I just felt like it was leaning a little bit too much towards looking like it was photoshopped and just the saturation was taken down. So I just added some more black into that. And I think it looks a little bit better now. Doesn't it? I think it looks good. Looks like a good cactus. It's not a pure black, but it's much closer. It looks a little more contrasty. I think that looks nice. Also, Acacia Logs, I fixed the top of those to kind of better match our acacia wood. It's not exact, but see how I darkened the acacia wood? It's not exact, but I think as far as using this log as a building material, if you ever end up doing something like that, you know, where you need a post to come out, that's not very jarring. I think that still looks really, really good. So got the Acacia Logs fixed up. I think it looks really nice. The gravel, if you've been following, you know that I had like dirt and grass particles in the gravel. I removed that. The one that had like the cobblestone texture on it, I took a lot of that cobblestone texture out, just left a couple little pebbles in there. And I think it looks really, really nice. Let's see. I added a very desaturated piece as well. Or not desaturated, very low contrast piece. You might not even find it. Yeah, it might not even be visible in here. It's hard to tell. But I think as far as that goes, I mean, the light one kind of stands out quite a bit from a distance. But when you're walking on it, I think it looks really nice. So maybe I'll darken the light one up just a little bit. Maybe not. I think it looks pretty good. It looks pretty nice, doesn't it? But Furnace has been driving me crazy for the longest time. I put this little grill texture on the top where it had like a coal texture underneath and then some iron bars with a little hole, but it was too big. Let's go back to our old one. Boom. Let's see if I can just override it like that. Will that work? Yeah, that works. See how it's too big and it was overhanging? Because a lot of people use these as like extension chimneys or flues or something like that. And now we've removed that and it looks pretty good. There's a little bit of a bevel in there, like an inner bevel, but I think it looks good. I think it works. Definitely ties into that very well. I messed with the enchanting table a little bit. I'm not in love with this, but I wanted to add kind of some detail to the side. It's not perfect. It's not great, but it's okay for right now. I'll keep working on that. But the Glowstone Lamps, this guy was a labor of love. I had to put a lot of time into this, and some of you might not like it, but for me, I think it fits in very, very well. The off state, the reason why I had trouble is because this grid on the outside is kind of brown colored, which matches our window. Our windows have this texture on them, right? So that matches. Let's see if I can get one that has some color in it. There you go. So you can see this matches that. So you could even use these for windows if you wanted to. But it was just really hard getting the glowstone texture underneath because this is the original glowstone texture here. I figured that would make more sense to have the glowstone inside the glowstone lamp texture. So when you turn it on, boom. It's a little bit different. I lowered some of the saturation and contrast and stuff to make it work with what we have, but I think it looks really, really nice. I think it turned out really good. So there's the off state, the on state, off state, on state. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks good. I wonder if it does anything weird when we go far away from it. Let's try. Just like those other windows we're doing. Why am I running into everything? No, it's not freaking out like the windows were. So that's really good. Also, oh, you think I'm done? You're wrong. I'm not done. I removed the face from the pumpkin. Huh? It was so weird walking around, and I could never use a pumpkin as a decoration because it had this stupid face on it. It always kind of bothered me. I was like, that doesn't really make sense. Pumpkin growing out in nature and then it has a face on it. But what does make sense is a jack-o'-lantern. If you're going to use that for light, putting a face on it, sure, that makes sense, 100%. So I leave that in. I think that's good. I might even, I could even try to squeeze like my Bdubs avatar in there. Oh, that might be kind of, it'd be like a branding thing. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's stupid. It's out. Bad idea. But yeah, so I changed that. So pretty much all up to date, all happy with everything that I've changed. Would like to take bookshelves, and I don't think I've done anything with them, but add different variants of bookshelves at some point. down the road. That's kind of on the agenda and the plans. There are all these new blocks. I love the bone block. I think that's a great one. But these three are almost unusable for buildings. I'm not sure. I'm not positive. But I don't know. I might mess with those in the future. We shall see. But there's a couple of changes. Now that I got into the world here, there's a couple of changes I wanted to make. Sand. You know how our grass has all this kind of different shading and texture to give it some life? I'd love to do that to sand, but that's very dangerous. We'd have to be very, very subtle with it. So I might try that and see, because if we go into deserts, that could be really, really cool to have that. Also, the wheat. I believe the wheat, the color is off now. I initially matched it to the original wheat color. Oh, I'm going to have to get a hoe here. Give me this hoe. Where is it? There's one. Perfect. Okay. So let's grow some wheat here. Hello? There we go. Oh, the different stages too. That's not bad. Yeah, so I have to match that up, I think. And I think it would look much better with that color too. So let me work on those. Get those ready for you. I might have some other little surprises. We'll see what I can come up with. But as of right now, I think it's getting pretty good. Pretty good. All right, about an hour later now. I could do this forever. I really could. And maybe I should. Maybe I should just dive in, do this thing, and get everything done that I want to get done. And then no more little mini things here and there. It's really tough, though, because every day I got to record a video, so it's tough making the compromise. But you can see in the sand, there's little mini variations. It's very subtle, it's very slight, but you can tell there's hue changes. It's much less drastic as the grass. So maybe we want a little more drastic, but maybe it looks good. Maybe it really seems like a very smooth gradient. So we'll see. Kind of play it by ear. Maybe we'll go into I think you can do just a world with all sand on the top. Maybe we take a look at that. But I messed with the hay bales, and I think this is a pretty good color. I think that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a little bit on the dirty, grungy side, but I kind of like it. I kind of think it looks pretty great. So I'm happy with that. Like I said, these things I might make changes here and there as I'm playing, but I feel like that's a really good look for a hay bale. It's got kind of the dark spots. It's got some lighter orange spots, a little bit of green in there, but not much. Looks pretty good. And I also made another stab at the Mossy Cobblestone, which I've had, and it kind of had a little bit of a neon green feel to it. I think this looks a little bit better. Mossy Cobblestone looking all right, if you ask me. But let's see if I can go into a sand test world and we can get a better look at this sand before we close things out. Oh, yeah. This is very nice. I like this a lot. This looks really, really good. You know, from way up here, you can really see the variations and the changes. I think that looks really, really nice. And then down here, you can see it just subtly off in the distance. But when you're looking right at it, it's hard to really see it. Oh, I like that a lot. I think that looks really good. On a very large scale like this, it stands out much, much more. I'm glad I checked it out like this. But yeah, look at this place. This looks pretty good. I'm happy with this. These farms look really nice with the different textures. So I think we got a good product going here. I think it looks really good. I'm very, very happy with it. So anyway, oh, that's weird. Why is that cobblestone? Has that always been that way? That's kind of strange, isn't it? Well, anyway, okay, that's it. I think we're done for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you enjoy the resource pack. And as always, I love seeing your worlds and your creations in the resource pack and how it how it kind of works out for you. And I love suggestions, any ideas that anybody has, or any certain blocks that people think need to be changed. That's always helpful as well. So anyway, love you guys to death. We'll see you all in the next episode.
Gross. How did she not know that corn looks like this? How is this?
You know that I'm not used to seeing it.
How could you look at this and say, what is that?
And it's stuck.